Good morning. My name is Reishma Sankar. I'm the Livestock Officer at the Regional Administration North Division, Ministry of Agriculture, Land and Fisheries. Today, I am going to show you how to build a rabbit cage. The materials required to build a cage with dimensions 48 inches by 24 inches by 18 inches are 2 feet 1 by 1 by 48 inches galvanized after welding rabbit wire, 2 feet ½ inch by 1 inch by 48 inches galvanized after welding rabbit wire, 15 feet 1 inch by 2 inch by 18 inches galvanized after welding rabbit wire, and this will be used for the 4 sides of the cage. We also need 2 edge protectors for the sides of the door and 2 heavy-duty spring locks which will close the door securely. 3/4 pounds J-clips to staple the edges of the wires together, and the tools that we need is basically the cutting pliers, the measuring tape, and the J-clip pliers. So we will be constructing a cage with dimensions of 48 inches by 24 inches by 18 inches. This size can accommodate a small to medium sized door with a nest box, feeder and waterer. This size can also accommodate 4 to 5 weaner kits until grow out, with adequate spacing for the rabbits. The accommodation must provide sufficient room, otherwise stress, fighting and injury may result. The floor space per rabbit is dependent on the type of breeds and size of rabbit that is chosen for production. The welfare of rabbits must be considered in providing suitable and adequate accommodation for their physiological and behavioral needs. The very first step in building the cage is to measure the base wire, which is the ½ inch by 1 inch by 48 inches 16 gauge galvanized after welding rabbit wire. The wire was measured out previously, and using the cutting pliers, it is cut flush to 24 inches for the width measurement. Next, the top wire, which is the 1 inch by 1 inch by 48 inches 16 gauge galvanized after welding rabbit wire, is cut at 24 inches. Make sure it is cut flush to the 24 inches width. For the 4 sides, we need to cut the 1 inch by 2 inch by 18 inches 16 gauge galvanized after welding rabbit wire. The sides must measure 24 inches in width. Now it's assembly time. The J-clips are used to clamp all the wires in place. Begin by clamping the base to the sides. Use the J-clip pliers to fit in the J-clip, then begin to clamp the sides at 4 inches apart to frame the cage. The top wire is placed and clamped with the J-clips to the sides at 4 inches apart. Now turn the base wire topside and begin to clamp the J-clips 2 inches apart all around the side wires. This basically reinforces the base flooring to hold the weight of the rabbit and any accessories such as the feeder, water and nest box. Now we need to make a door. Turn the cage back onto its base. A space of 12 inches by 12 inches will be cut out for the door. Measure 2 inches up from the base wire, then measure 12 inches going up, mark it. From this end, go across 12 inches and mark again, then go down 12 inches and mark again. Cut the wire from the corner, then go across, then down until the first end is reached. Pull out the wire. Here is the 12 inches by 12 inches spacing for the door. This is more than adequate for small and medium-sized breeds of rabbits. So larger rabbits would need a 2-foot square or 3-foot square door according to the breed size. So it's time to make the door now. The door will be 2 inches bigger across and in height. This will prevent the door from going inside the cage when it is closed. Using the 1 inch by 2 inch by 18 inch rabbit wire, measure 14 inches by 14 inches and cut across and down. To install the door, use the J-clips to fasten as a hinge. It is crimped tightly to allow the door to open and close. The spring lock is installed simply by turning this end around the wire and clamping it securely. This lock will keep the door closed securely. We placed 2 locks, one at the top and one at the bottom, to ensure that the door will be properly closed to keep the rabbit in its cage. This is an edge protector. It is used to prevent injury to the animal and the handler. This is cut 12 inches long and placed on the inside edge of the space of the cage. Also, the edge protector is cut 14 inches for the 3 sides of the door edges. Waterer and feeder can be snapped onto the cage at a convenient location to prevent any hazards in passing. If an adult female is being housed, a nest box can be placed if it is mated or inseminated. The cost of all of these materials is approximately $800, and the cost of the Jacob pliers is about $300. Now the cage is ready to be placed on a stand in a secure and sheltered area. This is important to keep the rabbits safe from predators, direct sunlight, and rain.